have y'all today.
Hey, do you think we can possibly take our masks off? I think we're 6 feet apart.
Yeah, you sure are.
Definitely are.
Definitely are.
That'd be so much better.
So, we have some questions that our people, neither of us are certified, so our people are asking us some questions we need answers to.
Of course. What you got?
Well, some people talk about canning in the oven.
Ooh, canning in the oven. That's really not a suggested way to actually can and preserve your items. It doesn't get your cans hot enough or the product hot enough to be safe.
Interesting.
Boogie, you got some questions?
Absolutely. I have a grandmother's recipe for peach jelly, and I was wondering if I could use that recipe that she gave me.
Well, we all love grandmothers. They're great. However, if her recipe isn't scientifically tested, you don't want to use it. You can either send it off to a lab to get scientifically tested to make sure it's a good recipe and has the right pH, or you can frame it and put it in your kitchen.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, so we're talking about grandmas. My mother-in-law is a grandma, and she told me that you can buy like a jar of pickles, and you can reuse the lid from there and the jar to can at least one time.
Ooh, I would definitely not suggest doing that. You know, this is a science-based product that you're making, and so you want to make sure your jars are really solid and thick jars, and your lids, you want to make sure that they're going to be great lids for your product so you don't have any spoilage issues.
So after we get through the process and can our vegetables, how long can I keep them on the shelf?
You can keep them for about a year for best quality.
So these, but if we use these and we buy these, we can reuse those a few times.
I wouldn't suggest reusing those. When you buy them from the store, they have about an 18-month shelf life on them, and the only part of it that I would suggest reusing is the ring, unless it's rusty. This guy, one and done.
Okay.
I have a question. What is the difference between pickling and canning?
The difference between pickling and canning is pickling uses acid to preserve the product, while canning uses heat.
Okay, and so back to these guys. Now, sometimes the lid doesn't go down. Do you have any idea what might be some of the problems with that?
There could be several problems. Either your water bath or your pressure canner didn't get to either pressure or hot enough for your product to can. You could have left some residue on the lid right here or the top of the jar right here that would have caused it not to seal properly, or you didn't leave enough headspace.
What's headspace?
So headspace is, you want to use this guy, it's your little helper. Headspace is the amount of space from the top of the lid to the top of your product. And so you want to, push down your product, make sure that there's no air bubbles, and then you want to take this and just make sure you're about 1/4 inch down all the way around, so you have enough headspace so when pressure is building in your product that it can release air.
Okay, Megan, I've never seen one of those. Where can I get one of those?
You can get this at any of your general stores in town or online.
Okay, and so when you're canning, I know sometimes you have to use a pressure cooker, and sometimes you have to use you can use just a pot of water kind of thing. What are some of the products that you have to put into a pressure cooker?
Pressure cooker is for your low acidic foods like carrots, corn, and tomatoes. Actually, the reason you can use both, but the really way you want to use a pressure cooker on tomatoes is when you're adding a lot of vegetables to that product.
Like pecani sauce?
Pecani sauce, it really depends how much vinegar is added. So you're watching, you have to follow your tested recipe, and usually you have vinegar added to your pecani sauce, and so then your acidic level goes back up, and so you don't need to pressure can it, you can do it in your water bath.
What about an Instant Pot? Can I use that for pressure cooking?
Wow, those are great inventions, but they're not tested for pressure cooking, and so the manufacturer doesn't suggest doing that. It can be used for a water bath for your more acidic foods.
So I've seen sometimes some like white stuff on top of, homemade canned goods. Do you know what that is?
Well, like this jar has a little bit of white stuff on it. It's really just the mineral deposits from your water after you're done, laying on your canned goods. Just take a towel, wipe it off, and it's good to go.
All right. My last question for you, Megan, is how can I tell when my canned goods are spoiled?
I'm actually going to read this for you because you can tell something is spoiled a lot by the little popper on top of here. If it's popped, it might be spoiled, and so you might have to dispose of that product, or probably have to dispose of that product. And so if you're going to have to do that, use a regular garbage disposal for high acidic foods. And if it's low acidic foods, and tomatoes fall into this category as well, and if there's a possibility of spoilage, place unopened jars in a heavy garbage bag and place in the trash. If jars are opened or leaking, boil the food, jars and lids for 30 minutes, then throw away. Place jars and lids in the trash. Clean and sanitize all cooking areas. Throw out any sponges or washcloths used in the cleanup.
Wow, that's pretty dangerous stuff.
It can be. You don't want to mess with, foodborne illnesses.
Well, thank you so much, Megan. I learned a lot. What about you, Boogie?
It was great, Megan. Thanks for coming over.
Let's get canning.
I hope you enjoyed our presentation. I'm Karen Lissy with Texas A&M AgriLife in Calhoun County.
I'm Megan Glidden with Texas A&M AgriLife in Aransas County.
And I'm Boogie Barber, Texas A&M AgriLife for Ferrell and Goliad counties.
Have a nice day.